I've always loved to sing. It was one of my first memories as a child singing in church. If I'm not feeling it, I don't schedule a lot of like writing sessions and like make it like a job thing. And maybe it's because I'm a little older, I don't know, but I just want to create and play and share as much as I can.
Today, we are in the chair with Afton Wolfe. He is a singer-songwriter based out of Nashville, Tennessee, and we're going to talk about his touring and his music, and maybe a collab or two that I've seen on his profiles that I want to know a little bit more about. But Afton, welcome. Thanks for joining me today in the chair with you.
Hey man, it's great to be here. Thank you for having me and for talking about music and cool stuff that I like to talk about.
Absolutely. I want to start with, I think, what is the most striking thing about you when I think the first thing I did with your music was I visited your Spotify profile and hit play, and Winter Comes for Mary came on.
Hmm.
And I mean, you've got a hell of a baritone bass baritone voice.
I warm up to baritone videos. I think baritone's, pretty accurate most of the time. When I get into tenor, I think I can hit some of the notes. I probably can't, but I think that my voice gets so wide with the distortion and sibilance that the note's not really important,
Uh-huh,
kind
absolutely.
of, yeah.
Do you get comparisons? I think an easy one would be Johnny Cash saying deeply, but
Well,
I don't think you. I mean, you have vocal qualities, but I wouldn't say, oh yeah, he sounds like Johnny Cash. Like it's a
no,
different style.
I mean, maybe on that song it's a little bit more, but I get Tom Waits a lot. I get Greg Allman a lot. I get yeah, Leonard Cohen sometimes. I don't know. Those are the people I admire. And I mean, I guess, you find your voice trying to sound like your heroes, and those are the people I tried to sound like. So
Uh,
hopefully it worked.
that's awesome. Can you talk a little bit about your beginnings? When was the first moment you just thought, yeah, I'm gonna do this singing thing?
I've always loved to sing. It was one of my first memories as a child singing in church, and you know, it's just been something. I don't know. It's always been inside me to do it, no matter what the situation was, and the more I can do it and the more I can write and find songs, the better off I am. But I've been doing it since I was 14, 15 years old. In one form or another, it pushes and it pulls. You go do something kind of goofy and fun for a while, and then you crawl up your own and do your thing unashamedly, and then you go back and forth. So it's been
Wow.
like that.
With your songwriting, so you've been doing it since you were a kid. How much of it is songs just keep coming out versus, man, I got to go to the woodshed and I got to write something that that has some substance to it.
No, I mean, I don't ever put a lot of like, structure into when I'm doing it. It's just kind of when I'm feeling that form of attention, I try my best to like find something to kind of capture it. But if I'm not feeling it, I don't force it. I don't schedule a lot of like writing sessions and like make it like a job thing. I don't like that.
Yeah.
But when I'm feeling, when I discover, because I feel like songwriting is discovery, when I discover some lyric or some melody or some rhythm, just, while I'm paying attention, I like to try to turn that into songs because I love songs.
No, that's
I think that's the way it's best for me to create or discover songs.
that's cool. One of the motivators of me doing these interviews is I was an English major and I like to write, but I haven't really written songs, so I'm actually stealing everything that you're saying. Like, how do you write a song? You inspired or? You have to carve it out of your heart or what?
Oh, exactly. I mean, I think that if you feel like that, at least personally, and this might just be some kind of psychological justification, which I think a lot of my philosophy is really just a facade for some justifications and rationalizations, but I think they're good ones. And I think that if you think that it's something you're pulling out of your heart or like cutting off of yourself or like growing out of yourself, then it's too easy to like worry, put your ego attached to what you discover. Whereas if it's discovery, it's like the songs are kind of always there, just like the mountains were to Ansel Adams, just like, you know, just like photography, just like, dance, finding those rhythms in space and things. I just think that they're there.
Uh, oh, that's great. I want to bug you a little bit, because I talk to a lot of touring bands, um, and not a ton of solo singer songwriters, um, who are active. I mean, you seem active as hell, like
Uh,
gigging, recording, putting out albums. Um, what How much can you talk a little bit about the grind of you know not just getting shows on a calendar and physically going to the venues and playing, but just that, I've got to be in travel mode for 2 months. And then, are you writing a lot then, or do you take a break and then now I'm going to be in writing mode for a few weeks?
well, I mean, I'm always learning about it. So I can tell you what I feel about it now, but it's been different. Now I feel like, I mean, and maybe it's because I'm a little older, I don't know, but I just want to create and play and share it as much as I can. It's a privilege to get to do it in any form.
Yeah.
Uh, but with that comes the responsibility of like, also working full time for money. Because we know how much the overhead is on all this versus the whatever the economics of it. They're not great, but that's kind of the grind is like having to take your attention away from it for me. Like I would love to be able to do it more. I tour a couple of weeks, a couple of times a year, and I play pretty regularly in Nashville. And I try to stay in the studio as much as possible. I just wrapped up this record I've been releasing since December. Got it mixed, but I knew it was going to work out. So I had a very specific release schedule for it. So, but it did work out, and I'm really excited about it. We're on song 7 now, which is coming out June 20th, and there's another one coming out in July and August and September. October and 2 in November, including the full album, which is going to be a double vinyl. It's going to be called Ophiuchus. It's going to be awesome. So I've been releasing songs from that too, but I mean, I just feel like it's a privilege, and it's worth whatever effort it takes as long as you understand why you're doing it.
Yeah, that's amazing. So are you gonna actually put out a double vinyl album?
That's the plan. Yeah.
Holy, holy shit! I
Yeah, man.
I'm a big fan of just not only the ambition, but just to have a vision of, no, my song collection isn't 10, and
It's not.
it's not 15, it's not, full, but
No, it's
that's a lot,
13.
that's a lot of storytelling.
Well, honestly, like I had to do, I felt like I really, for myself, I needed to do something big that was all me and like unashamedly pretentious and ambitious and expensive. Because I've been lucky to be collaborating with some really cool people like Brian Brown on a remix. And then before that, the David Only cover on the tribute to him. And then before that, a collaboration on another wonderful song with a wonderful artist, Dead Flowers with Jamie Harris. not a song I wrote. And then before that, I did 7 songs in my father-in-law's. So, I was starting to become a little bit of a, who was that guy that did all the cover albums? I can't remember now, but I'm starting to be like a cover band studio act. So I had to put something out that was all me. So
Uh, that's I love the bravado of if you're a band with lights and smoke and lasers and stuff, you can there's something big and ominous at you. But I love the idea of singer songwriter with a guitar. It's like it's two vinyls.
yeah.
Come at me.
Well, I mean, I'm in Nashville, man. I've got the greatest players around me. I can make it sound any way that I want to. And, I mean, I did. I made this sound exactly like I wanted to. So
That's great. You mentioned Jamie Harris. Well, you didn't mention Jamie Harris, but I know
I
you're
did. Yeah. Dead Flowers. Well, that was in that backwards storytelling I just did. Yeah. Jamie Harris.
uh,
Wonderful human, favorite person.
yeah, I was excited because she has strong Austin ties. I saw her a couple of years ago here, and she's wonderful. How did you connect with her, and what was the choice to do Dead Flowers?
Well, cover songs, man. We met through my bass player Daniel Seymour when he invited us to do a duet for his John Prine tribute, and we did Long Monday together, and it was fantastic.
Yeah,
And then while we were doing that, I asked her if she would do Lebowski Fest uh, and sing Dead Flowers.
yeah.
I was going to see if somebody else was going to do it, maybe as a duet, but then it turned out to be that her and I did it. And it was a whole lot of fun. I was Jackie Treehorn. She was, oh man, I'm having trouble on Lebowski trivia right now, but she was stunning. And we did Dead Flowers there to open up that show. And originally, my plan was to get her in the studio and do both of those songs. But we only got Dead Flowers done, but it sounded fantastic. She's amazing. I mean, one of the most talented and just pure singers that I've ever heard, and incredible person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she helped me out so much, hooking me up with people in Austin, Texas. Shout out to Graham Weber, Bonnie Whitmore, and Susanna Schoffel. And made my last trip down to Austin a true blast. And shout out to Courtney Santana. So,
That's a great list of local talent here.
homies.
That's that's fantastic. So yeah, you've got a nice community here for
Yeah, absolutely. No, I can't wait to get back. It was, it was one of those times where I was really happy to kind of like, yeah, I was proven right. Like Austin was awesome. Yeah, it had been about 20 years since I'd been there. So Trophies was there the last time I was there. So
oh, I played trophies many nights.
nice.
I can still smell it, but I miss it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't play Trophies last time, but I did play Sea Boys this time. So
Yeah.
it's fun.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Austin, I don't know how much Nashville is like this, but in the past 20, 30 years, Austin has just blown up. And it's easy to say this place has gotten too big, it sucks, all the good stuff is gone, but there's still a very strong music community here. And so when you dig in and meet folks, you get to the heart of the music scene here.
Absolutely, and they're just like in Nashville, it is in Austin. It had been a long time since I'd been there, but there's so much more Austin, which is only good because it means that there can be these little different neighborhoods and different cliques. And I know that that's got to be true in Austin. I didn't really leave the area we were at, for the most part over there in East. You know, but it was an amazingly wonderful time. And, again, 20 years ago in Nashville, there wasn't an East Nashville like there is now, and sure, it's a little gentrified and things like that, but it's also, there's a lot more of like a different music scene with also this access to all this talent in Nashville, just same as in Austin. There's so many professional musicians.
Yeah.
Frankly, it's a wonderful supply and demand thing for a singer songwriter like me that wants to put 6 instruments on every song.
That's incredible. I've had a string of conversations now with artists who are either in Nashville or closely affiliated. Um, and so I don't want to stop talking without asking you about maybe your first or your most impressive visit to the Bluebird Cafe.
Well, my first time ever at the Bluebird Cafe was actually before I lived in Nashville. I had taken a job as a health insurance salesman at the ripe old age of 18 years old. Signed a contract in a shopping mall and got sent to Nashville to train. Took my guitar with me because it was the first time I'd ever gone to Nashville. First night was Monday night. I went to the Bluebird Cafe and they said, "You're not going to get an open mic Bluebird Cafe." It's what, 1999, 98. Uh, but I did somehow get drawn and I played two of my weirdest songs and people looked at me like I was weird. And I've only been back once since to see Tommy Womack, and that was a long time ago.
Yeah, that's that's fu- I I'm just thinking of trusting an 18-year-old to sell you insurance.
It's crazy. It's a crazy idea. Only in Mississippi. It was some crazy stuff, man.
Yeah, no, I think I would advise against doing that. But
No, well, I mean, it only took me like a month and a half to realize that I was stealing from people, and I quit. Yeah, no,
yeah, no, that's probably a good thing.
yeah.
Uh, you amongst your touring, you have a tour coming up with you build with a full band with the Snake Hunters.
Yes, well, we're going to be full band for two shows, but we're going to be a really fun trio for eight shows
Okay.
with the upright bass by Jackson Oberhauser and my man Seth Fox, who plays what I like to call the divorcee garage sale, but guitar, clarinet, saxophone, flute, sometimes it's a hammer and a piece of wood. And myself doing the troubadour thing. And then for Norwood and at the Fallout Shelter and Hoosick Falls playing with the Mallet Brothers, we're going to have my brother Madison George come up and play some drums with us. He's going to be able to come meet us up there.
Uh, that's that's great. Uh, you kind of always have to have a or it helps to have that utility belt musician in your band.
Well, the difference between taking four people on the whole tour and taking three people on the whole tour, I think, is bigger than the difference between taking two and three.
Hmm.
It's the way that works out so far. That's been my math. And having that upright bass when it's available, and I can have a homie like Jackson or Ernie Escalera's gone with me, or Luca Chiapra, or Eric Mendez, and Dan Seymour and Mike Stokes, who I've taken. When you've got those kind of dudes that'll come and play with you, then you can always have it, and it gives it that umph that is in between a full kit and being able to just have a normal volume conversation over.
Yeah, uh, that's great. I mean, you're in the heart of talented musicians for sure.
Oh, exactly, yeah. And
With Nashville being such a popular session musician city, have you found the demand or the request or the interest for yourself? Do you do much side gig work, vocal, backing vocals or whatever? Are you trying to focus on you and pull in musicians?
no, I'll do whatever anybody wants me to do, but no, they're not grabbing for me. I'm a moderately average rhythm guitar player, and I don't really fit into anything unless you're doing some kind of Halloween themed thing, which those kinds of opportunities only come around so long. But I'm willing to do anything. I write a lot with people when I can. So, but no, nobody's hired me to do voiceover effects yet. But it is my dream to be a cartoon voiceover. Whoever's listening.
That's, I mean, yeah, you've got a voice for voice,
Oh,
absolutely,
thank
speaking and singing. Uh, uh,
you.
let's see, with all of your touring, do you have some favorite haunts? Maybe popular ones or just
Oh,
holes in the wall in towns you've never heard of. Uh,
Oh, sure. Yeah. Plenty of those, plenty of all of those. From this last tour, and I mean, every place is special and different in its own way. But from this last tour, certainly one highlight was how we went all the way out to Terlingua and played at Starlight, and just literally took a driving day to get there, did it on a Monday night, came back, took a driving day back. Worth it, man. It was awesome. And the moon was really bright, so it wasn't even like as clear a night, but it was still awesome. Probably never go back there. That's fine. Uh, the places that we're going back to this year, this summer, are all a lot of my favorite places. Excited to get back to Asheville and the Great Eagle. Excited to get back to Unihog and Hoosick Falls. That's always a party with some of my favorite humans. Norwood for the Fallout Shelter, some amazing guys that treat everybody so wonderfully. And we had to cancel a couple of years ago, and we're back this year. So looking forward to all of those things, all up and down. Lucky Penny House concert, shout out. One of my favorite places that I'll be doing in 2026 is Edith May's Playhouse in Jessup, Maryland. You got to look this place up. It's crazy. Awesome place.
And what's that called? Eden's Playhouse?
Edith May's Playhouse.
Edith Mays. All right. I'm
A
gonna.
house show run by Georgie Jessup in Jessup, Maryland. And it is one of the most magical places on earth.
Oh, that's all right. I'll look that up. I'm not familiar with that. Um, when you said Terlingua, uh, my dad in the '90s was the chief ranger of Big Bend National Park. So I actually
Nice.
grew up out there,
Nice.
and we used to go out and have dinner with the owner, Crazy Angie.
Nice.
But yeah, Terlingua is a magical place.
That's a crazy awesome place, man. Yeah, it was definitely magical.
That's
Definitely magical. The whole route out there was, yeah.
Yeah, it is some desolate area too. Oh, that's great. What do you find? I'm thinking for the audience watching this of just whether they're in bands or solo acts or whatever. It's a grind with all the things that you have to do to get things rolling. Is there? Uh, have you found any helpful not cheats, but hey, when I took this approach to my social media, it really helped, or just cheat codes to help with little things along the way.
I don't know, man. I mean, no, I mean, I'm not going to be doing the halftime show ever in my career. So I don't know what anybody's goals are. I think that, it's got to be between your ears, because if you're waiting for it to be in your pocketbook or on some screen, then you got to evaluate why you're doing it. Is it an ancient sacred calling, or are you just trying to get serotonin for attention? Like what's it worth to you? Are you on the fight against good and evil? Are you going to create things a challenge you know that you think are beautiful so that you can add to the song? Or are you just trying to get clicks? I mean, what is that? I mean, who are the archaeologists going to care about that? Like, I don't know. I mean, it's just do what you think is important and
Yeah.
know why you're doing it. And I think that you can figure the rest of it out, or you can't. I don't know.
Well, then you can go sell insurance.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's better if you do it. I think that the price for finding more of it is sharing what you found, like, so if you've got it, share it with people. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. You don't have to get a publicist. You don't have to do anything else but share it. Put it out there into the ether and you'll get to find more, you know? And if you keep finding it and you keep sharing it, then, then you've touched more of the people that also find it and share it.
Um, right before we started on camera, you said, I'll just, hit home runs with the zingers, and you didn't give any cheat codes because maybe there's not a way to do it. But I think you maybe just created a new religion with with philosophy. So uh, I'm gonna go back and watch this, and Like Afton said, do this.
Venmo at Afton Wolfe, it's fine. It's not a religion, but it does accept tips.
No, that's cool. So yeah, you got the album coming out. You got the tour with the Snake Hunters, big and small, coming up.
Absolutely.
Um, the I have a couple more questions I want to ask before we wrap it up, and one of them is with all the songs you've written, night in and night out. You've got the ones that you play more regularly that the audience gravitates toward. Your hits.
Right.
Your
Sure.
um, are there songs that maybe you don't give enough attention to or audiences haven't reacted to as much where you're just proud as hell of it? Like, man, that's a good one,
Oh,
regardless of the
yeah.
response.
Yeah, some of the older ones, like when I listen to them, I'll be like, man, I can't even remember who, where I was when I found that, like who I was, Uh, and sometimes that's an impressive thing. Sometimes it's an embarrassing thing. It just depends on the mood I'm in. But yeah, man, songs like Interrogations and Steel Wires and Slingshots, those used to be kind of staples. And as I've written things that, I don't know, yeah, you're bound to share the stuff that you just wrote, you just found, but I should, freshen those up sometimes. And I do still play a lot of songs that are that old, like paper piano and stuff. But yeah,
That's I'm fascinated in every genre of the songs that are chosen for singles. How are they chosen? Is it music mogul guy, or is it the band pushing it, or is it just an undeniable the fans like this? I'm
bastard.
putting it out.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean, there's not a formula. Uh,
there's not. There's plenty of examples of all sorts of ways that people have stumbled into these little pockets of like nuclear connection. Like these synapses. Maybe you do it, maybe you don't. Maybe it happens now, maybe it happens later. But the more little bitty connections you can make, the more you're going to spread it out and increase your chances of hitting one of those. And not for like the popularity or the money or anything, but just for like, to feel like you've stuck a big spear in the giant.
yeah, yeah. No, that I shared that I've been a drummer, and I think the reason why I did it and I kept doing it is, you've got a groove going, and you see someone in the crowd just smile or dance or react to these vibrations that you're sending out, and that's maybe that's why we do this. Just uh, yeah, the impact of sound upon human beings can give them all sorts of different reactions, and that's
That's
something
it.
special.
It is. It's incredible.
Well, cool. Well, thanks for visiting. The last thing I want to ask, I've started asking this of folks, is who you might recommend for this forum.
Mm.
Who's out there that I should visit with?
Oh man. Lots of folks, I mean, my heroes like Jamie, like Brian Wright, you know, uh, Dylan Warnick has some amazing music coming up, and he's one of my favorite songwriters. Cora Lee, who not only is one of my favorite songwriters, but she's doing all the individual single artwork for my astrological album releases and the overall cover and design of it. She's an amazing graphic designer as well. She's just an artist through and through. My friend Nana Kay, she's incredible. Just I don't know. There's so many people here that I'm going to leave too many of them out if I go too much farther.
All right. Well,
But
I'm
Ben
gonna
De La Cour's new album is stunning, and he's an incredible guy. So yeah,
all right. I'm gonna reach out to some of those. uh,
sure.
I really enjoy visiting with you. This
Oh,
is
I mean, it's been a great time. Thank you, Mike.
it's great to come across your music. There are a couple artists that were in our Venn diagrams for
Sure. Yeah,
Nashville.
that's it, right? You spread the little synapses out, and you'll reach cool people.
Yeah, yeah. Well, great visiting
Next
with you.
time I'm in Austin, next time you're in Nashville, we'll hang.
Yeah, one thing I do with every artist I visit with is follow all the socials. So I do expect to see when you're through town. Uh,
Absolutely.
I'll come
Absolutely.
check you out and reintroduce myself at the show.
Sounds good, man.
All right. Well, thanks again for visiting.